Hey everybody, it's Shadowstar and Crystal, here to discuss the third episode of Season 2 of Arrow, Broken Dolls.
This is one of the few episodes that I actually remembered well.
Yeah, I know, it's one that always sticks out in my memory, and it's actually a really good episode that I can't think of much bad about.
But with the villain, yes, I found him interesting, but he just kept reminding me of the show Medium for some reason. He'd fit right in with their villains.
I guess so. I haven't watched that show, maybe one day. But yeah, we'll talk about the villain. But one thing I have to say about not just the villain, but this episode is, excluding the flashback, every plot I was going to talk about intertwines at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you've got the Laurel stuff that we start the cliffhanger from, which then ties in to the villain, which ties in with the mystery woman, which ties in with the Roy plot and the Quentin plot. They're all just intertwines at the end, and I love it.
Yeah, because Roy goes to find the mystery woman, and then it's only because she sees the text from Thea that she lets him go because she has to go help Laurel.
Yeah, so beginning at the start of the episode, we still have Laurel being an idiot, but it pretty much concludes with Oliver being saved by the mystery woman we saw at the end of the first episode. But this episode actually puts more focus on her, with Oliver and eventually Roy trying to find her.
Yeah, that was fun.
I
really like the character of Sin, and I don't like that because I can remember that. I don't remember if they explain where she's going or not, but I don't like that she just kind of leaves and, like, she would have made a good addition to the B team we get.
I really love Sin, and she does get some good plots, but we'll talk about her. There's not too much to talk about her for now. She's just an interesting character who meets Roy and is involved with the mystery woman.
Roy's just like, hey, do you know about this person? And she just runs.
Some people aren't good. That's the thing, though. If you're not a good on-the-spot liar, you're instantaneously...
You could just say...
But that's the thing. If you can't instantly come up with a lie, then you've got... Remember, lies can be told in the facial expression. She probably realised she couldn't hide it and just decided to run.
I feel like it wouldn't be hard to say, yeah.
Although, to be fair, she also ran straight to the mystery woman.
Yeah, so maybe that was the plan, to lead him to her, because he was asking about her. And when she says, are you one of them?
That's true. Maybe she knew people was after her, because we eventually do...
At the end of the episode, someone does come after her.
Yeah, we do get some foreshadowing and a mention of Ra's al Ghul, a big character from the comics, but we'll get much more into them later, but...
Yeah, I feel like people who have read the comics would have more of an idea of what's going on, because...
Maybe. They won't... Well, yes and no, because they'll have it'll get them excited about the fact that they're mentioning stuff that's been foreshadowed before with Ra's al Ghul, but that's about it. It doesn't really tell us who this mystery woman is.
No, because I guess in the comics she wasn't in that group we haven't heard the name of yet.
No, we'll get into that. Don't worry, it's not that long, because I believe in like 2 episodes from now it's the title name. But yeah, we do spend a lot of the episode focusing on the mystery woman, who at first saves Oliver and then again saves Laurel, but we'll get into that because we have, honestly, one of the most memorable but also really creepy villains.
Yeah. Creepy, definitely, yeah. But like I said, I just can't stop thinking about Medium now. He would fit right in.
Also, this is like, as lampshaded, this is going to be the second time Felicity has played bait.
Oh, yeah, true.
Although this time it didn't go as badly. Oh, I suppose it didn't go too bad last time. No, she did the job she was supposed to do.
Yeah, definitely. She's been pretty good at it.
For now.
Yeah.
But then it turns out we'll just capture somebody else who's important to Oliver. But that was more because it was important to Quentin.
Yeah, exactly.
I love this episode for Quentin. It's the first time... I mean, we talked about this at the end of the finale and a little bit in the past few episodes, but like I said, while Laurel's gone completely in the deep end, Quentin has finally become a character I really enjoy.
Yeah, it's like Laurel said, looks like I'm not the only one that did a 180.
Yeah, but he did a 180 for better. I'd say she did a 180 for the worst, but she was already a crap character anyway. At least this time, at least this episode, she gets called on at it and realizes what an idiot she's being.
Yeah, at the end, she explains what her way of thinking was and why she felt that way. It's similar to when Lance was hating Oliver because of Sarah's death, when it wasn't really his fault. Yeah, and Laurel explained that she was projecting anger onto the Arrow instead of dealing with her guilt because Tommy was only there because she was there.
I think this is also the first time the show itself has called him Arrow, because Lance flat out says it, even though I don't know when it would have been mentioned.
I don't think it was. He says, remember at the end of an episode, Oliver looked at the Arrow and said,
yeah, I know.
I got a better name.
But Lance does say it when they're in the office.
Yeah, so he probably told Lance that name. Yep, you're in police. Spread the word. That's my name now.
Yeah, which I think that's the first time it said it, not counting subtitles. So subtitles has also spoiled the code name of the mystery woman, but we won't say it.
Oh, yeah.
It does. Subtitles sometimes spoil, but then again, the subtitles also sometimes get it wrong and call him Green Arrow.
True, he doesn't do that.
Let's not put too much faith into it, but yeah, because of the intertwining plots, it feels like we can just cover everything so quickly.
Yeah, it's all just one big thing, and I like that. I like that it all connects.
I love when plots all connect. Like, okay, that's the thing. I love the plot with the mystery woman because I love the build-up and I love what's going to happen with that. We'll get to that in a few more episodes. You know, and I love Sin's character, which ties into that. The villain, at least, I mean, yeah, even if it's a one-off villain, it's a creepy villain. And if you're going to have a one-off villain, have him try to be as memorable as possible.
That's another reason why it reminds me of Medium, because in each episode there's usually 2 plots, but there are some few good episodes that I love where near the end it turns out those 2 plots were actually connected.
Yeah, I love at the end it all comes together. I suppose there was one little plot thread which wasn't connected at all, which was the Moira stuff. It's a small bit, but everyone knows I do love court scenes, and we are coming up to one of the 3 big court scene episodes.
I love and hate the court scene because it was interesting, but I don't know, I don't know much about law. I'm no lawyer, but it just didn't seem right to me. Like when the guy wanted to suggest the death penalty because he's like, oh, 503 people have died. Why not make her 504? But the thing is,
he's the opposing lawyer. That's his job.
But no. But okay. But she didn't directly kill anyone.
Well, that's what her lawyer is for.
Exactly. That's what she should be saying is, yes.
She's going to say that. She said we're going to...
aided and abetted, but...
Yeah, okay. Yeah. They're going to say that. That's the whole point. They're going to keep going to trial. That's what a court is for.
Okay.
What do you think a court's for? Yeah, but we are building up to... The Moira plot is building up to one of my favourite episodes because there's just some episodes which are very heavy on the court scenes, and we're getting up to one, but we'll worry about that in a few more episodes. But
yeah, one great thing about this episode, usually I don't love Lance as much as you do, but this episode, he was great.
Yeah, like I said, Season 2 is what really turns everyone around on him. I mean, I didn't love him in Season 1. It's mainly because I knew what was coming. It wasn't till, the last few episodes where I really enjoyed him.
He had so many great moments in this episode. I love that he changes his way of thinking. I love that he shows that he can really read people, because when he's talking to Oliver when they're waiting for the guy to stalk Felicity, he just knows. He says, well, you've lost people too, right? He can just read people, and I love that part of him. And, but I also hate, it's, I love to hate, it's not a fault of the episode. I hate that the other police told him he was obstructing justice when he was literally he literally found the guy, and I'm like, that's, the opposite of obstructing.
Yeah, I know. I can't... their reasoning does seem a little faulty at times, since he hasn't actually impeded any of their progress.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there were so many good Quentin scenes. Let's go back a bit, because I love the rooftop scene where he first where they first talk about
Yeah,
everything.
he just has one dumb moment when he's in the parking lot and he makes the mistake of getting up close to a guy who can just knock him down and
Yeah, but that's just Quentin being Quentin. That's just his instincts. But
he's a trained cop. He should
Yeah,
be
alright.
smarter than that.
yeah, okay, but still, the rooftop scene was amazing. Where like I said, we've been building to the fact that Quentin's a lot more accepting of the vigilante, especially with the fact of in the first episode where the vigilante announced that he's not going to be killing anyone.
Yeah.
So he's
definitely.
really come around on that. But at the same time, I love him tagging along, and I love putting him in the moment and seeing what a mission with him is like.
Yeah, because he could help with like restraint, like when they were seeing the guy's lawyer and asking where he might be.
Yeah, it reminds me of another character gets a very similar scene in next season with Oliver as well, but we'll get to that. But yeah, it reminds me of another scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were so many good scenes with Quentin, and even when it's not big deep moments, I love little small moments. He's just very observational. He adds a little humor sometimes with his
his perspective makes everything better.
Yeah, he's got I love his outsider's perspective, like when Felicity's doing some stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything connected. I love it.
Except the flashback, which we should probably touch on a little. But
the flashback, at first it was a little slow, but then it really picks up when they see the boats. The boats are attacking where their hideout is.
Yeah, and as you know, I love finding little parallels to the flashback. When he says about Shadow, it's her life, it's her choice, and then I'm already forgetting somebody.
It was paralleling Felicity wanting to be bait.
Yes, Felicity wanted to be bait, and she literally says, "It's my life, it's my choice," and I was getting excited, like that's what Oliver just said.
Yeah, but the flashbacks at least were finally exciting. I mean, we've had some build-up, but now they're really big, because, we see... And it kind of leaves a little bit of mystery, because you see them attacking. We don't know what's happened to Shadow, because we see him attacking, and we haven't seen Shadow yet. We see a faint vision of Slade on fire, and then Oliver just wakes up in a prison on the boat, and that's it. That's our cliffhanger for the flashbacks.
Yeah, definitely mysterious.
And I think I know what happens next season.
Although, with the way that they were warning Shadow, like, you should come with us and not be alone, the fact that they warned her like that, kind of gives it away that something dangerous is gonna happen, I think. Like, as soon as they warned her, I was like, yeah, they're going to be right, and she's going to be in danger.
To be fair, it's a flashback. Something always goes wrong, but the thing is, what's great is we're talking about intertwining plots. Now, let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but I think in another 2 episodes, the plots, even the flashbacks, are about to really intertwine.
Yeah, that person on the boat who's going to say things without saying
We'll see, just saying... If you thought the plots are intertwining now, just you wait. But I really enjoyed this episode. There wasn't too many...
starting to see why you like season 2.
That's the thing. I mean, we haven't had many bad episodes. The only bad part so far has been Laurel, but that's just a given by now. At this point, I can't even begrudge an episode. It's just Laurel being Laurel. You just have to accept it.
Yeah, but this was great.
And at least I don't think Laurel was as bad as last episode. She had some moments, but... At least it wasn't as awful, and there were so many good moments with Quentin. I love the plot with the mystery woman. The villain is creepy, which is good. But yeah, so honestly, I'm thinking 8. I gave the opener an 8.5.
You're a mind reader.
I'm giving this an 8.
I was gonna say 8.
It's such a good episode.
Yes, I actually loved it.
I know.
I mean, granted, I feel like it's ripping off Medium. Actually, I don't know which came first, but
I'm pretty sure Medium's much older.
Yeah, I'm not sure when it started, when it ended. Anyway, yes, the villain, reminds me of like a specific villain from Medium, but I'm not gonna fault them for that. People can have similar ideas, whatever.
The fun thing is, although yes, you knew this episode, it's really fun because for the most part, this is kind of a blind reaction for you, especially as we get deeper in.
Yeah.
The further we go in, the less you know, except about certain plot threads involving characters you like.
Yeah. I mean, eventually it'll get completely blind because I never did finish Arrow.
No, you've seen you've seen tiny bits and pieces, but I think you only got like
pizzas.
You've seen like a little, got through season 3, and you might remember bits from that.
Yeah.
You know some of season 4. I don't think you know much of anything in season 5 onwards.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Well, like we said, let's not pat it on anymore. We both love this episode. We both set it an 8. What is the next episode called?
It is called Crucible. Isn't that a book I read in English class?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the episode name ties into. I can't remember.
A crucible is a melting pot.
No, we'll get to that later as well.
Okay. I'm not actually sure what you're on about, but yeah, The Crucible is actually a pretty well-known book, and I read it in English class.
So is the Odyssey, sir. Another parallel. Actually, that makes sense because it ties in with the flashbacks. But enough about flashbacks, that's next time. Next time we will watch the 4th episode of Arrow, Crucible. I'm loving season 2, and it seems you are too, so we'll see you next time for more of season 2.